Hey, this is Wilson. I'm joined by two of my three prestigious co-hosts, Shane Christopher Murray and Jason Big Mitch Mitchell. David Galvez, the fourth man. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. He's not at home, so he's out and about. And he said he wasn't going to make it, but Galvez is always he's with us even when he's not with us. We're going to start this episode off with a prize pick segment. Um, Big Mitch, I'm hoping he can read the board for tomorrow's games, and then we can like make some picks. Each let's say each guy makes two picks, and that's six picks, and anybody who likes some, maybe they can tell or mix and match. Although I gotta be honest, I wouldn't tell anything I pick on PrizePicks if I were somebody watching this. Um, and then after that, we're going to preview the Lakers. So since Monday was when we recorded the last episode, the Lakers have so they won the play-in just barely against Minnesota, and then so now they get Memphis in the first round as we everything most people expected what happened that we win the play-in, and now we get Memphis, and we'll preview that, and and I think that'll be it. We're going to keep it nice and short on this Saturday afternoon. Um, so Mitch, you still got that Prize Picks board in front of you?
You know it.
So what are the games tomorrow? What is the schedule for tomorrow's games? What is it? Do we play first tomorrow?
Yeah, we're playing first tomorrow.
At 12.
Yeah, we play at noon tomorrow. Let's see. Then Clippers Suns. They
Mhm.
play at 5. There's got to be more games. They just showed the schedule on TV too.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get the full schedule. That's the only
Okay,
ones they're showing on Prize Picks right now, but
so they don't have the full board up, which is expected because
they don't have the full board up yet.
it's still early. But uh, you know uh, whatever's on the board, we can just go through that and see what we like. The Lakers against Memphis, a lot has been made of of Anthony. I'm sorry, of Memphis being without Steven Adams, and some people have looked at that as an advantage for the Lakers. But Memphis has been without Steven Adams, for a while, so they've adjusted to that. And I think Xavier Tillman is healthy, right? He's been their backup, right?
Yeah, but no Brandon Clark. So
Okay, no
Xavier
Brandon Clark.
and
Okay,
JJ.
right. So I think that well, I mean I really like Xavier Tillman, but the question is, what type of matchup is this for Anthony Davis? Um, I it seemed like he should be able to. I mean, Jaron Jackson is a hell of a defender, but
Hmm.
he's not. I don't think he's a. I mean, he's more of a great team defender. He's a really good one-on-one defender too. But I don't know if he can necessarily guard Anthony Davis, who's bigger and just one of the best players in the world when he's healthy, which he is healthy right now. Mitch, what lines do they have up for AD for tomorrow?
For tomorrow, uh,
Like, what is
let
his
me get
like?
it.
So if you just type his name in there, all his lines should come up.
Yeah, let me type it in. Check. Anthony. Oops, I spelled it wrong. All right, there we go. Yeah, they got him at for tomorrow. They got him at 25 and a half points, 13 and a half rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2.5 block shots. They don't have his 3 pointers made, but they got him at 6. They got him at 6 free throws made.
Okay. So they don't have a points, rebounds, plus this, PRA or a fantasy score for him.
Yeah,
Assist and free throws are low.
fantasy score, they got him at 53 and a half. For points, rebounds, assists, they got him at 41 and a half
Okay.
for tomorrow.
See, now I've tried every type of strategy that you can try with Prize Picks. None of them worked for a while. I was like, I like to do either points, rebounds, assists, or fantasy score because that way it's like, who knows? I mean, you pick on any one category, that's like playing, it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. But fantasy score and points, rebound, assists is more of a, composite, category. But then that wasn't really working. But see, the good thing about it is, with it being the playoffs, you might have the nail in the thought, what is it, what's the expression? The freaking whatever in everybody's shoe, the pebble in everybody's shoe when it comes to prop, betting is for the basketball is foul trouble and blowouts. You know,
Right.
foul trouble and blowouts will just completely screw up your whole slip. So I look at it like, well, I mean, it's the playoffs. You would think this, these are the best 16 teams. You think there'd be fewer blowouts, but then again, it is the first round. Uh, but you just never know,
Never know.
and you never know about uh, about foul trouble either. The one good thing that helps is that guys will be playing more minutes, so because it is the playoffs and the rotations get shorter. Um,
That's
Mitch,
true.
you were talking pre-show,
Rotation should get shorter.
right? You were talking pre before the show because Prize Picks they have a bunch of new props up there from dunks to what else they have? Dunks, field goals attempted, all kinds of stuff. You
Dunks,
know,
dunks,
fouls.
field goals attempted, personal fouls.
Um, and they also have it where you can combine two players, which wasn't something that you could do during the regular season. And then
Yeah.
you can also have make picks for the first four games of a series, stuff like that.
Yep.
And Mitch had a couple, so I'll let Mitch tell you guys what he was thinking. Um, it's just for Lakers, the Grizzlies, right? Because they don't have all the games left.
Yeah, they got Lakers and Grizzlies up right now.
Right.
Oh yeah, full schedule for tomorrow. Lakers play at 12. Heat Bucks, they play at 2:30. The Suns Clippers, they play at 5, and then the Wolves Nuggets play at 7:30.
Okay. Um, yeah. So Lakers, Clippers, and Wolves all play tomorrow.
Yeah, Lakers, Clippers, Wolves. Yep, all play tomorrow.
So three West games tomorrow, and then that means it'll be three East games on. No wait, I don't know. Who knows?
Could
I
could
guess
that
that
mean
must be the
Golden
day.
State plays tonight?
Right. So
We,
it's three and
Golden
one.
State plays tonight. Yeah. Golden and then night.
Yeah, it's three East games today and one West game, and tomorrow is three West games and one East game. But Mitch, you were saying before the show that there are a couple of props that you liked or you were thinking about.
That I'm thinking about. Yeah, I'm thinking about taking LeBron in the series for 3-pointers made. They got it at 10.5. I mean, LeBron could easily get hot in 2 of these games and cover that. Like
Yeah,
easy.
it's not
Like
even
even
three.
yeah, even in his off games, I feel like he's gonna shoot like 12 and he'll make like 2.
Hmm.
So I feel good about that one, and I feel good about AD assists for the series, game 1 through 4. They got him at 10.
Right.
I feel I feel pretty good about that one too.
So that's just about 2.5 assists per game. See, the thing
Yeah,
with AD, man, is you just never really know what. There was a time, remember during the season when AD was getting like 30 and 18 every game,
yeah,
but since he came back from injury, he hasn't been as
consistent.
consistent. So you really don't know what he's going to do.
Well,
I
it's
do
also
low
more on
key.
his shot attempts too. Like, because there were a couple games where teams completely like double teamed him and took him out the way, and Darvin couldn't capitalize for it. Even Darvin himself admits that coaching staff got to strategize more to get him open. So that's not all AD.
Right. Mitch, what kind of lines do they have for LeBron? Just for tomorrow.
Just for tomorrow. Let's see. Ooh. For for LeBron for tomorrow, they got him at 28 and a half points, 8.5 rebounds, 2.5 3-pointers made, 6 assists. They got him at 3.5 turnovers. that might be a good bet the way LeBron been turning it over lately. They got him at 43.5 for points, rebounds, assists, 50.5 fantasy score. They got him at 4.5 free throws made.
Damn. LeBron's another guy who, bro, you remember when LeBron was in his prime, bro, you would have just penciled him in to go over like on like all of those in his prime. Like easy. In the playoffs
Easily.
especially. But now
Easily.
he's so old, you just don't know what he's gonna do. Do they have
That's what
Austin Reeves? They have any Austin Reeves lines up?
I don't think so. Not yet. They might not put him up till tomorrow. That's how
Yeah,
they
it's
do it with Austin
early.
Reeves. Austin Reeves, man. Oh, wait, they do. My bad. So they got Austin Reeves at 14.5 points, uh, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 0.5 steals. They got him at 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to take that.
I like that.
I love taking the over on Austin Reeves. He's always got my back.
I mean, it is the playoffs. His first time around, so you gotta.
27.5 fantasy score, 3.5 free throws made.
I like that points, rebounds, assists, and that fantasy score.
Yeah.
Maybe the fantasy score even more. Because it's pretty easy to get to 27.5 fantasy score. You know, the thing about the fantasy score, some people, because, you know, if you get one turnover, that takes away from your score, but steals and blocks are worth 3 points each. You know, now Austin's not a big steals and blocks guy, but you also just never know. He might get a couple steals tomorrow. That's 6 points right there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I almost feel like Austin Reeves is like the most consistent, the most consistent Laker, kind of.
Pretty
But
much.
at the same time, you gotta temper expectations a little bit because this is his actual first playoff game.
Yeah, but you know it was weird because that's what I like. Josh Giddey. Did you see Josh Giddey? And that was a playing game, but he played
Yeah.
like Larry Bird or something in his first playing game. So, like I said, that's not those lines are not too intimidating for an Austin Reeves, especially when
No.
he'll probably have more minutes. Like and it's the playoffs, shorter rotations.
Hopefully.
So yeah.
Mm.
They got anything? They got any? What? They got any Grizzlies lines up, Mitch? They must.
I mean, yeah, let's see what they got for Ja. So for Ja, they got him at 27.5 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.5 3-pointers made. That might be tough for Ja. They got him at 49.5 fantasy score. Let's see. They got him at 5.5 free throws made.
If you're gonna play anybody on the Grizzlies, um, I'm thinking it'll be either Ja, Bane, or Jackson. Those are their three best players. Now Jackson is always in foul trouble, as Shane said
Mm-hmm.
last week. So anytime you got a guy who's always in foul trouble, you just never. It's just hard to trust him. You know.
Yeah.
I'm I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I had to play anybody, I think I might play Desmond Bain. You know,
Really?
yeah, I think I might play Desmond Bain. Because he's a guy who he can fill up a stat sheet. Um, so I might play his points, rebounds, and assists. Or his fantasy score. Um, you know, I mean, the thing about role players is they're role players. So
Yeah.
by definition, the difference between even a good player or a very good player and a great player is consistency. The great players are inconsistent. Great players are consistent. You know what to expect from them. You know, with role players, by definition, you don't know what to expect from night to night. So, so I would go. Um, Mitch already said he likes Davis. For anybody keeping score who's going to tell these picks we made, Mitch said he likes Davis, assists, games 1 through 4.
Yep.
LeBron, 3-pointers made, games 1 through 4. And then I said I like Austin Reeves, his points, rebounds, assists, or his fantasy. And then I think if you're going to play anybody on Memphis, when I say points, rebounds, assists, or fantasy, I mean just for tomorrow. And then I don't have the balls really to bet these like 4 games or the patience. I wouldn't even want to sit up and like wait 4 games to see if it if it lands
that's
or
the
not.
only problem.
Yeah, and then but then also I think on Memphis, um, I'd play Desmond Bain, his points, rebounds, assists if I had to pick one. Um, and probably Austin Reeves to be more exact, points, rebounds, and assists. So there's 4 picks for you right there. Play those 4 picks together and lose whatever you bet. All right, buddy? Because that's what happens.
I
Yes,
got a
sir?
few. I got a few
Okay.
picks. So I'll just throw out there. For AD and Bron, I'm gonna go over on the free throws, and I'm go over on Bron's assists, and then I don't know if he's being played or not. I'm actually gonna take Dylan Brooks on the Grizzlies for points.
Okay.
Dylan Brooks he's definitely a crapshoot. But so they got LeBron's. So this is just for tomorrow. They got LeBron's free throws made at 4.5. So that just he's got to make 5. Let me see. Anthony Davis, what they have him at again? Let's see, they got his free throws made at 6. So sounds like you're betting on Jaren Jackson to be in foul trouble.
Well, I'll put you like this. Just to the stat that keeps floating around. The Lakers are first in free throws attempts, and they're 400 free throws ahead of the second place team. So,
since the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break.
How many free throws has the second place team?
400.
Since the All-Star break.
That's the type of stat. Remember when we shot 41 free throws in the fourth quarter against Sacramento in Game 7? And all these years later, people still aren't over it. That's the type of stat that people go, hey, the league loves the Lakers. But
it's really Austin Reeves' fault, though. He's been getting a lot of he figured it out. So
the draw fouls.
Then
Dylan Brooks on points.
Yeah, well, the reason why I say Dylan Brooks is because in order for us to be successful, we probably got to keep Ja at 20 to 22. Then Desmond gonna have to keep him on a low too, and then you're gonna forget about Dylan Brooks. You can't. Your focus gonna be on those two. So somebody has to, be left open to take the rest of the points.
They got Dylan Brooks at 13.5 points for tomorrow.
You still like those?
15, 18, but yeah, that's about right.
Okay. So Shane Murray. So what were your 3 Shane? Shane Murray, Dylan Brooks, points over 13.5. LeBron and AD free throws over, right?
And LeBron's assists over.
LeBron's assists over. I think his assists were at 6, Mitch said. And for me, I said Austin Reeves, points, rebounds, assists. Desmond Bain, points, rebounds, assists. I think that was all I said. And then Mitch, you guys heard it. I already said it. Please make your picks. We are not experts. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as an expert when it comes to these to this stuff, man. It's just it's like I don't know. It's really like insanity to even try because who wins really? I mean, there's very few people who
Yeah.
win in the long run. You know, they have to pretty much devote all their time to it in order to win. You know, over the long term. Um, but yeah, okay. So let's move on to the actual basketball. I mean, that's actual basketball. Let's move on to the actual. Not fantasy basketball, but the actual basketball. So like I said, the Lakers they barely survived against Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota didn't have Gobert or uh, McDaniel's. You were about to say something, Mitch?
Yeah. How did y'all feel about the play-in game? How did y'all feel about
I'll say
Darvin's
this.
rotations? How do we feel the Lakers played overall? How do we come out feeling after that play-in game? Do we feel more confident or less confident going into the actual playoffs?
Even less confident for me because I wasn't confident
Of
in the first
course.
place.
Of course.
And I just feel I will say this though. I don't know if I'm the only person who feels this way because I didn't see anybody else say it. But I think that was not a foul. I don't think that was a foul on Anthony Davis on that last play of regulation on the closeout on Conley. I felt like Conley came down clean on his own feet, and I don't. And then they kind of once both men landed, he kind of nudged into him, but I don't think it affected the shot, and I don't think he really and truly came into Conley's landing space. You know, I think it was one of
Yeah,
those where it looked like a foul, and the ref called it because it looked like a foul. It looked like the type of play. Just
and
watching
the
it
way he
live.
missed.
Right. And then he fell
And the
down,
way he-
So, but I will say that, that I didn't think that was I didn't really think that was a foul. But yeah, I'll let you guys go about.
Um, I was very surprised at D'Lo. He's been very consistent for us. For him to come out 1 for 9, it's kind of trippy. But I gave it to Darvin for sticking with Dennis. Dennis saved us, literally, with his efforts. So he got redemption from me. I've been hard on Dennis since he came back. I'm good with Dennis now. He's good with me. They just looked exhausted or lethargic, whatever you want. You don't want to give them that excuse as far as being exhausted, but they they found a way to win. And at this point, we where they were, you just got to get a win wherever you can. They got to win. They made it in the playoffs. I feel very confident in terms of who they're playing. I think the Grizzlies are very vulnerable. Like they lost their of two big men in their rotation, so AD should eat and eat a lot. Well, as I mentioned about the free throws, they all should be in attack mode, especially Dennis, especially AD, especially Braun. And we already beat this team twice, and we didn't have either both LeBron or AD in either one of those games. And D'Lo missed the game too, and still beat them twice. So, and at this point, it's a clean slate for everybody because Ja, I think, missed one of those games, and then we have a whole new team now. So it's everybody, both teams are filling each other out. I got the Lakers in 6, but each game gonna be hard, tight, nail biting games. So I see each game going to the wire.
got Lakers in 6. What you're saying?
Yeah,
We
Lakers in
win.
6.
Are we winning tomorrow?
I'm gonna go yes, even though LeBron, especially 2020, they think they lost most of their first game ones in those playoff series and they end up winning. So, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say they'll win.
So which games do we lose for you? You think?
I think we lose game 3.
So we're gonna sweep in Memphis.
No, let me take that back. I'm gonna say 2 and 4 games. 2 and 4.
Games 2 and games 4. So we'll win game 1. We'll lose in game 2, and then we'll
Figure it
win
out.
game 3. They'll win game 4, and then we'll win the rest. We'll
Mm,
win game 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think
I
I'm
mean,
gonna take.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Lakers in 6 too. Hmm.
I mean, I'm going with the Grizzlies in 6.
Of course you are.
Damn, that's pretty wild.
Why?
I mean, if it plays out how it's supposed to play out with AD being who he's supposed to be, with the emergence of Austin Reeves and with Dennis Schroeder on kind of a revenge tour from the way he played last
Mhm.
playoffs. Um, D'Angelo playing for a contract, a long-term contract.
Mhm.
LeBron playing for LeBron's legacy. I mean, and then you got all the external stuff like the whole beef that had happened the last time Shannon Sharp was at the game, everything like that. I mean, with the yeah, I just think I feel like, the way the Grizzlies talk is just enough to piss LeBron off and piss the Lakers off that we'll win this series. They talk too much. They talk too much, and they have yet to back it up.
And to piggyback off that, with the way the team is structured now, we can give Ja multiple looks to keep him out the paint. Like you put Vando on him for a minute, you put Troy Brown on him for a minute,
Please no
and
Troy Brown. Oh my gosh,
and go
he
to
needs
a
to be sitting down already.
you can
Sorry.
go to a boxing one, a 2-3 trap. Like you can do different things, to give Ja different looks to make him a passer as opposed to attacking the rim. So
Um, yeah, Troy Brown, he's been very serviceable this year. I'll give him that. He had some very good stretches for us, but man, I am leaning towards Sheila being right. Shout out to Sheila. She is a noted Troy Brown hater. Um,
and granted,
but
even if she is right, that wild card is Roy Hachimura. Like he
that's why that's why I want Troy Brown to, have a seat, to give Roy some more minutes. I feel like towards those last couple games, Roy was I'll start calling him Roy. He's been playing good, so he's back to being Rui again. So Rui has been playing. I thought Rui started figuring it out. He was
Mhm.
able to really pick his spots more effectively in the last couple games. He had that one breakout game. I forgot who it was against, but he had that one breakout game. He had like 17 points or something like that. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, no more Roy. You Rui again off of that one. But yeah, I mean, we definitely need Rui to be in. We need Rui to be in the 12. I'd say 12 to 17 point range to TBH. Especially if they're gonna be if they think they're gonna double team AD. We
Mhm.
need Rui to be in the 12 to 17 point range. Um, Austin Reeves, I mean, you can pencil him in for double digits for sure. So we need Austin Reeves to be in the. I'd say Austin Reeves needs to be in the to 14 to 20 point range for Austin Reeves.
And I don't want you to be disappointed if he not, because like, this is his first real
This,
test.
this kid is cut from a different cloth. I feel like he's cut from a different cloth. And he really started. When he started emerging is versus Dallas.
Mhm.
The moment he had with I don't know his first name, but Green from the Mavericks.
Yeah, when they got that
When they
fight.
had a little dust up, all of a sudden, Austin Reeves, he came out of out of nowhere because he had he'd been consistently balling, but he was balling after that. Like ever since then, it's been the Austin Reeves show around here. So I'm be wanting to buy some Austin Reeves merch out here, but yeah, I mean Austin Reeves, I expect him to play very well. I expect a guy like Dylan Brooks to be talking some junk, and then Austin Reeves to be like, "I bet, watch this."
And I'm expecting some big games out of D'Lo. Like I need a couple 2025 games with this.
He wants the contact. He, I mean, he better,
I mean,
for his
I,
contract.
I pray and hope he don't turn into, and you have to go back with his name, Ramon Sessions. When we played OKC, I pray he don't turn into that.
The Ramon Session days. Wow.
I don't think he'll turn into Ramon Sessions.
If you remember what happened with that once we play OKC in the playoffs, like I doubt it, but I hope it don't come to that. Like I need him to get back to D'Lo getting 20 plus.
Yeah, I mean, as far as his play-in game performance, to be fair, let's be honest, playing games, they don't count. They don't count towards regular season. They don't count towards playoffs. So if anything, we can give him a pass for that. Sorry, Greg. We're going to have to give D'Lo a pass for that.
I think he put too much on that game because it was the Timberwolves and he wanted fans
exactly
game
what I was about to say is I think he was way too hyped for the game. He came out, I feel like he came out and, he wanted to be aggressive. And like, you can just tell with the way he was missing, he was just a little too hype and he was pressing a little bit too much in his mind probably. So I think he'll get back to, being who he is. Not pressing, just being smooth, smooth D'Angelo, just, yeah, I think he was just too hyped for the game for sure.
And another wild card in this series, like even though he's very inconsistent, is Bees. Like
I feel like Beasley's starting to come around a little bit, but again, this is Darvin's gotta he's gotta trust Beasley.
Right.
And he's gotta give him the minutes. I mean, he can't just be like I feel like Beasley's the type of player where he could miss like 4 shots and then all of a sudden he'll turn it around.
Yeah.
But in order for that to happen, you as a coach, you got to stick with him. You can't just be like, oh, okay, well, he just missed 4 threes. He doesn't have it tonight. All right, Troy Brown, go get it for us. You've been here all year, and so I think Troy Brown, we needed definitely for the regular season. Playoff time, I think unfortunately, I think we have better options than Troy Brown Jr. I'm sure Sheila's smiling somewhere every time I say that. Anytime I denounce Troy Brown Jr., I just imagine Sheila smiling somewhere for sure. So
that's going to be tricky because
one more shout out to Sheila for being the original Troy Brown Jr. hater for sure. But
that's still going to be tricky because like if Bees comes out struggling, it's going to be up to Durham to be like, okay, how much time do I give him? And then going back to Troy Brown, even though Sheila hates him and you picking it back off that, he statistically he's still one of our better 3-point shooters.
Statistically, but like, sorry, finish your point.
I said he's still one of our better 3-point shooters and one of our better wing defenders. So if Bees doesn't have it going and it's like third quarter, you know what I'm saying? We need some shot making and some defense. If he can't, because he's even find a way to if he's not shooting well, to get to the rim more too. Like I noticed that about him too. So he's been trying to find that balance in his game. But if it's like third quarter and we in one of them scoring droughts and we need something, like that's gonna be tricky on Darvin to stick with him or go to Troy Brown or Roy or somebody else.
Well, once again, my hope is, and again, I don't think Troy Brown's a bad player. I think he was very serviceable for us for the regular season. But with the options we have on this team now, I think it's time for him to have a seat, cheer on his teammates. the rotation has to shorten. If honestly, if the so I mean, one of my original questions was, do you feel more confident, less confident going into the series after watching the plan? I feel a little less confident, to be honest, and it's mostly because of Darvin. Honestly, sorry.
I mean,
I feel like the rotation was just. I mean, it was rotation was too big. Needed to like some people are gonna have to have a seat unless needed, unless foul trouble happens, injuries happen. They're gonna have to stay ready. Like this is what they get paid. The big bucks for. They get paid to stay ready. So some Darvin, he's gonna have to make some tough choices. We're gonna have to shorten the rotation. Like we need our better players to be on the court more to get into a rhythm. You can't be into a rhythm if you split minutes. It's harder. So we need our better players to get more minutes. They should be in shape enough to play more minutes. So like I don't want to hear no excuses about tired or anything like that. It's playoff time now. This is, we're what, 2 months away from vacation. If we go all the way, it's time to lock in. So
and with that said, how Darvin handles the front court rotation is going to be real, real important. Like, I feel LeBron, AD, they don't get a lot of minutes, but how
as he
you
should.
handle deciding between Wayman Gabriel and or Mo Bamba.
It's easy.
I'm saying how he handles that's going to be very, very important.
I feel
I,
like I feel like I think Winion's another one that might need to, sit down and be a cheerleader in this series. TBH.
But Mo Bamba don't always have it either.
Yeah, but the difference with Winion and Mo Bamba is Mo Bamba's a bigger body, and when he contests being 7 feet, it
Mm-hmm.
makes more of a difference. When Winning's in the game and we're expecting him to be a rim stopper, it doesn't happen because he's not a rim stopper. Winning's a lot of things. He's not going to stop you at the rim. He's going to play
All
good, solid defense, but he's not going like when he was in the game. It was like the Wolves were like, "Oh, time to get some layups."
all those things is true, but at the same time, Mo Bamba don't always play big. He don't always rebound like he should, and he's like sometimes he's on, sometimes he's like a little lost. So it's kind of like what Mo Bamba you're going to get because he actually could get some minutes because of his 3-point shooting and space it out for AD to go inside. But again,
That's what we need. That's what I'm saying. That's why
but
he should be in.
but again, he's not always on, and you can't, as a coach, you can't sit there and wait for him to figure it out.
But if you have him on the bench, we'll never know.
True.
If you got Winning out there, like the difference between and you're right. Like, is Mo Bamba always on? Is he like a knockdown 3-point shooter? No, not necessarily. But is he a threat on the outside? Definitely more of a threat than Winion. And so that will give, like, if you have Mo Bamba spacing, that'll give AD more space.
Hmm.
And while we're on the subject, kind of like AD get double teamed. I mean, my boy Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, I need him to be at 10 to 14 points a game. They're like when they double AD, they are doubling off of Vanderbilt. So he
That's
needs
kind of a
to
stretch, though.
be ready. Is it how? If they're double teaming off of Vanderbilt, AD needs to make sure that he finds him and he should get open shots.
But he's not unless he's in the corner. He's not really an open shot maker. He's a slasher. cleanup guy. He's not a guy you can say, okay, go get me a bucket.
I didn't say go get me a bucket. I said they're leaving him open on the double team. That means he's open. He can't make a dunk. He can't dunk.
He can, but he might
He can't even
that
catch
might
the
not be
ball.
available.
He has no hands. He's almost like I like what he brings, but he's almost like a Dennis Rodman out there in the sense that you're
That's
playing
exactly what he modeled his game after. What
four
he
on
talking about.
five when he's out there on offense. But
He
does he
needs to
make
make
up?
himself
He's not.
threat.
I mean, he's not Dennis Rodman. What Dennis Rodman brought defense and rebounding has never been matched other than by Bill Russell. So
Right.
He's not that. But it's just it's a
Dennis Light. He's
right.
Rodman Light, huh? Rodman Light.
Right.
And question for both of y'all: do you see Eddie? Just for the sake of the Kardashians, do you see Eddie Tristan Thompson minutes?
Barring foul trouble, no. Barring foul trouble and injury, I do not know. This man he's an insurance policy. Let's call it what it is. He's an insurance policy. He's LeBron's boy, so he got the call.
Yeah, and I'll just say that I think we can probably survive with Wenyan Gabriel this series and won't need a Mo Bamba or a Tristan Thompson just because size wise, Memphis without Adams, they're not that big. I think Xavier Tillman's a physical player, but I mean, what I read, I mean, I think I might rather. I don't know if between those two, I might rather see Tristan Thompson just to go in there and be physical. I don't know what type of when the last time he played or what he'll even look like if he were to step out on the court again. But
yeah, that's the thing too.
if he gets physical out there against this Memphis team led by their gang leader, John Morant, it can get physical. It gets like that with Memphis. It gets testy.
Don't do that.
So. But and I just want to say one thing here at the end. Just want to say something to Spencer Dinwiddie. All right, because let me tell you something.
Talk to him.
Let me tell you something, brother. Rick Fox.
You don't talk about Rick Fox.
In the words of the great Pedro Starr, do your Googles, brother. I mean, Foxy told you himself on Twitter, but listen, man, don't ever act like Rick Fox was some type of scrub and he was just along for the ride. I mean, Rick Fox he showed you that picture. He was one of the captains. Foxy was an important bench player on the first championship, the first of the three-peat teams, and then he was a starting small forward in the next two. Always consistent. Phil Jackson loved him. Always played within himself. Just an excellent player after playing 4 years, I think, at North Carolina under Dean Smith and making a Final Four. So a great basketball career that Rick Fox had. And Spencer Dinwiddie, you're a good player, but listen, man, don't you ever do that again.
Nah, not to Rick Fox. You don't.
No, you don't, sir.
Fox. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Just because he acting don't mean he can't get you. Ask Doug Christie.
Yeah, Rick Fox is a thug. He's a gangster. Don't forget that. He was the enforcer, as he said. All right, Mitch. I figure we keep it short. It's Saturday. You got anything you want to say to an old friend of ours?
Yeah, Herbert definitely wanted to come on and make his little predictions as well. I got Herbert in the PrizePicks games too, so he wanted to also let us know what he's rolling with. But unfortunately, it's a shortened show. Shane Murray didn't sidetrack us today, but it was just a shortened show. Sorry, Herbert, we ran out of time.
I got one more thing too. I called it the infomercial section. I'll call it the infomercial section. Any small business owners who watch us or any corporation who watches, we're looking for sponsorships. So if you're interested, get at us anytime. Get at our social medias or email me at shane.murray@westcliff.edu. We'll get into it and we'll promote your stuff on the show. Just we're looking for sponsors.
Shameless plug. I love it. Reminds me of like D-Generation X. It's like, oh, look, is that a new shirt that we got? Yeah, it is. Go buy it on WWEshop.com. Oh yeah, shameless plug. I'm here for it. Matter of fact, why don't you plug your socials too? How about that? Shameless. Let's get real shameless with it now. Why not?
Hey man, I'm trying to help us out.
I'm saying, we might as hey, listen, no half measures. Might as well plug your listen. You can find me at J2Fresh on the gram. I think that's what the kids call it, the gram. That's what it is now. The gram, yeah. J2Fresh on the gram for sure. Too Fresh, Too Furious on the Twitter machine. I'll at your boy
Twitter.
on the Twitter machine. Yeah.
Twitter.
That's what the kids call it. Yeah, I'm
And
so
Cali
cool.
Ray 31 on Instagram, you know.
Yeah.
And you guys know me, man. I'm Antoinimus. That's a brand name, so everybody already knows me. So, all right. So, before we get out of here, just a few reminders. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Lakers podcast. If you prefer the audio version, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. The show is also on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and every other major podcatcher. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network and to like it on Facebook. Just search for the Complete Lakers podcast. And finally, send feedback and mailbag questions to Complete Lakers Podcast at gmail.com. We are out.